So let's talk about battles. Not just the kind with an opponent you can see right in front of you, but the ones that are way, way harder. The ones that happen inside your own head. We're going to get into a story that looks at how winning that internal war completely changes how you deal with every single challenge on the outside. All right, let's dive in.
I mean, think about that for a second. It's a huge question. We're always looking for the enemy out there, the obstacle, the person holding us back. But what if that heavy feeling, that little voice telling you to quit, what if that's not coming from the outside world at all? What if it's actually part of you? This is exactly where our story kicks off. Okay, so meet Evan. It's the middle of summer vacation, but he's not lounging around. He's in a dojo, and you can just smell the sweat in the rubber mats. Every single part of his body is just screaming at him to quit. He is right there, at his breaking point. And in that little space between total exhaustion and just collapsing, a voice starts to whisper. Just picture it. Evan's legs feel like they're filled with concrete. His arms are like lead. And across from him, his sparring partner, Marcus, is fresh as a daisy, basically bouncing on his feet. Evan goes to block a punch, but he's just too slow. He stumbles back. His lungs are on fire. He's not just tired. His actual will to continue is starting to crack. And there it is. That quiet, totally reasonable-sounding voice. It sounds just like his own thoughts, right? It's promising him that sweet, sweet relief of just giving up. Go sink into the couch. It's the pull of the easy way out, and it's arguing, hey, you've done enough. It's okay to stop now. And I think we all know that voice. So right as Evan is about to give in, just drop his hands and call it quits, the whole dojo just goes quiet. A mentor figure, Lord Blue, is standing right at the edge of the mat. But here's the weird part. He's not looking at Evan. He's looking right past Evan, at this shimmering cold spot in the air right behind him that wasn't there a second ago. And that's when Lord Blue introduces Evan to his real opponent. He calls it the shadow self. Now this is the key right here. This isn't some monster from the outside. It's the sum of all our own stuff. Every lazy impulse, every fear, every urge to take the easy road, all bundled up into this thing that basically feeds on our potential. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? Lord Blue explains that Marcus, the guy in front of him, he's just a mirror. He's just reflecting the real fight happening inside Evan. The true enemy is this shadow, this anti-self, and it gets stronger every single time he gives up. The physical fight is just the training ground for the real battle. So, if you can't punch a shadow, what do? How do you fight it? Well, Lord Blue says you don't fight it with more force. You fight it with strategy. You cut off its food supply. You literally starve it. So let's see how you do that. The game plan is super simple, but it's totally the opposite of what you'd think to do. You listen for that voice, that shadow's command, and you do the exact opposite. Every time you feel that urge to back down, that becomes your signal to push forward. Every whisper of fear is your trigger to attack. You're basically turning every moment of weakness into a chance to get stronger. And Evan does it. Right then and there. The shadow is screaming in his head, that kick is too fast, get back. But instead, this new energy just surges through him. He steps into the attack, pushing past the pain, blocks the kick, and uses every last bit of what he's got to execute a perfect sweep. And bam, Marcus hits the mat with a solid thud. Evan kind of glances over his shoulder, and the effect is instant. That cold, shimmering thing is still there, but it's weaker. It's like a flame that's being starved of oxygen. It's smaller, thinner, less of a threat. He didn't destroy it, he starved it. And he doesn't feel exhausted anymore. He feels this clean, electric energy. He's learning that fixing the cracks in your own spirit, yeah, that takes sweat. Okay, so he's faced the demon inside. But now, Evan's about to face a completely different kind of challenge. This one's not on a mat. It's in the middle of a chaotic festival, surrounded by friends who are in trouble. His friend Abby runs up, totally frantic. Her car got towed. But listen to how she says it. It's not, oh man, I messed up. It's, they did this to me. She's not taking any responsibility at all. She's the victim. She's calling a parking fine extortion. $200. And just like that, the drama becomes a real concrete problem. That's the price tag on the lesson Abby is supposed to be learning right now. And it's not just her. Their other friend, Diesel,
His wallet was in the car, and now he's being all dramatic about how he's fading fast from hunger. So they both turn to Evan, and you can see it in their eyes. They don't see him as a friend. They see him as an ATM. Their emergency, in their minds, has to become his problem to fix. Evan feels that familiar pull again, that urge to just take the easy way out. Just pay it, be the good guy, make the problem go away. But just like in the dojo, all the noise of the carnival seems to fade out, and Lord Blue is there, explaining the spiritual trap that's just been laid for him. He calls it the bailout trap. It's what happens when you rescue someone from the consequences of their own choices. You're basically giving them a harvest they didn't do the work for. And when you do that, you're not actually helping them. You're just enabling their helplessness. You're reinforcing this delusion that someone else is always going to come along and clean up their mess. This is the absolute heart of it all. What a line. If Evan just hands over the $200, he's not just giving them money. He's literally robbing them of a painful, but totally necessary lesson in cause and effect. A lesson they have to learn for themselves. And this just reframes the whole idea of what it means to be a good friend, doesn't it? Real compassion isn't about taking their problems away. It's about teaching them how to be strong enough to handle their own problems. It's the huge difference between enabling and empowering. Any real help has to be tied to their own effort. So armed with this new perspective, Evan has a choice to make. The sounds of the festival rush back in. His friends are just staring at him, waiting, basically with their hands out. Does he take the easy path, the bailout, or the much, much harder path of real compassion? And his choice is laid out perfectly here. He can be the quick fix, the bailout, or he can be a manager. Instead of just a handout, he offers a hand up. He tells Abby he'll give her a ride and help her figure out a payment plan. He tells Diesel he can earn money for food by helping him with some work. While his friends just explode. They're furious. They call him selfish, a capitalist, a terrible friend. I mean, the negative energy coming off them is just intense. But Evan, he stands his ground. He's calm right in the middle of their storm. And he just states the principle plainly. Labor for energy. That's the exchange. And in that really difficult moment, as his friends reluctantly, angrily accept his offer, Evan feels this profound shift inside him. By refusing to pay for a lesson that wasn't his to learn, he protected his own energy, his own capital. But by offering them a path to earn their own solution, he became something more. He's not just a guy with some money anymore. He's becoming a manager of energy and opportunity and growth. And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Evan learned his first lesson through the physical pain of pushing his body to its limit. He learned his second through the social pain of standing his ground and disappointing his friends. Both lessons came at a cost. The big takeaway here is that growth is never free. The most valuable things we get in life, strength, wisdom, integrity, they're almost always bought with some kind of pain. The only real question is, are we willing to pay the price?